Hello, my name is Bobby Donuffin and welcome to Trials Evolution Tracks of the Week, where we'll be looking at our favourite custom tracks made by the community. Now, although there is still a lack of skill games out there, we have managed to find one or two, along with some awesome Trials tracks. So here we go with Trials Evolution Tracks of the Week. Okay, first up we have Clock Tower by Scatinator, which is a themed track set inside a clock tower. You begin inside, making your way through the machinery, and eventually end up outside, making your way around and to the top of the tower. Now, I originally chose to play this track because I thought it'd have a lot of mechanisms, and while it doesn't quite have as many as I would have expected, it's still designed very well and very nice track to play. Next up we have Heavy Machinery 1.1 by Fruity Goodness. Now, here at Do Nothing Gaming we do like our mechanisms, and this track has got all of the mechanisms. Not only does it shift and change the path in front of you, but it's also got mechanisms designed to make you bail. It's a great little track, and it's definitely one of my favourites of this week. Moving on, we have Mechanical Boom by Vegas Trash, and being a firm believer in if it ain't broke don't fix it, we bring you another track full of mechanisms. Essentially the same as the previous track, but at the same time completely different. A combination of good design and innovative ideas make this one of my tracks of the week. Here we have Ruination by Coolertan, and this is a track with some tricky obstacles and some good ideas that make it definitely worth a download. In the description to this track it says it's a tribute to Crash Bandicoot 2. Having never played that game myself, I couldn't possibly comment. However, those of you out there that have may be able to enjoy this aspect of it as well. Next up we have The Fly Trap by Pool Tricks. Now, this track is set way up in the sky, so don't look down or you might fall. What makes this one of my tracks of the week is its seemingly effortless transitions between difficult obstacles and mechanisms. It's really nicely designed, really well made, and I definitely recommend it. Moving on, we have Tornado 2 by Kalinius, who, despite his frivolous use of exclamation marks, brings us an awesome track here. You begin in an empty street in an abandoned town when you're whisked up by a tornado, and before you know it, you're fighting your way across the debris to safety. Now, this track is a little bit short, but it is a great idea, and for the time it takes to play it, it's definitely worth a download. And finally we have Petit Ninja Volant by SNESLulu94. Now, Red Lynx had to introduce a new category into Trials called Ninja Difficulty, and this was because the community kept coming up with new ways to use the bike and inventive obstacles to use them on, and so Ninja Difficulty was born. Now, this track is one of the easier ones and it's a great jumping off point. It's still not easy by any stretch of the imagination, but if you're looking to step up into Ninja Difficulty, then this is the track for you. I recommend, if you get stuck, to have a look at the replays to see how to do one or two of the tricks. So that's all the Trials tracks for this week. Let's move on to the skill games. First up we have BMX Dirt Final by Snoops. In this game you're given a crude BMX and asked to perform stunts for points. As well as being able to do flips, 3 extra buttons are assigned to such tricks as tail whip and bar spin. Be careful, however, you will be penalised for faults. You've got 45 seconds to get as many points as you can and then cross the finish line. Next up we have Cross the Highway 2 by Kasaku Konan. and there's no other way to put this. This is Frogger in Trials Evolution. You've got 3 attempts to make it across 2 highways. If you get hit 3 times in one go, then your attempt is over. However, if you make it over to the other side of the highway, you reset back to the start and we go into the next round. Every time it goes up a round, the speed of the cars increases, and occasionally it ups the number of cars as well. Moving on, we have Manual Comp 2 by Ganzo. Now the first thing I should point out is that we are watching a replay of Unreal Forkman, who is currently number 1 on the leaderboards. The reason being for this is that we couldn't get this track completed in any sort of reasonable time for recording. The objective of this skill game is to make your way through the track, the catch being that obstacles that are red, you're only allowed to put your back wheel on, and obstacles that are blue, you're only allowed to put your front wheel on. It sounds simple enough, but I assure you it requires some delicate skills. So if you fancy yourself a challenge, go and download this track, and best of luck to you. And finally we have Quantum Mechanics by Killy the Bit. Now this is more of a track with a gimmick than it is a skill game, but it can still be found in the skill game section. The objective is to make your way through, and you will come across seemingly uncrossable obstacles, and this is where the gimmick comes into play. If you hold down left stick it will freeze time, and then you can use right stick to rotate the obstacles to clear the way ahead. This is a fantastic idea for a track, and it's definitely one of my favourites of this week. So that's it for this week's Trials Evolution Tracks of the Week. Big thank you as always to Alan for helping with the testing and recording, and I'll leave you with this from Borg 1 of 1. It's called Dance Dragon Dance, and it does exactly what it says on the tin. And I'll see you next time.